Hi beautiful people, welcome once again to my channel. First of all, I want to say a massive thank you to my 200 plus subscribers. Yay! Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you subscribing. I do not, and I mean it, I do not take your love and support for granted. You guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much. All right guys, so let's just get into the conversation of today. So guys, today we're talking about parental favoritism. Yes, I know some parents watching me right now are sitting comfortably on this table, and I also know that some people watching this video right now have been affected by this topic, and that's exactly why I'm talking about it. Now, first of all, what is parental favoritism? Parental favoritism is a situation or can be defined as when a parent or both parents display, favoritism towards a child over another consistently, with the key word being consistently. The affection that the parent displays towards the child that they favor could be in terms of spending more time with our child. It could be in terms of maybe less discipline. Maybe when the child does something, they don't really pay attention. They don't even discipline the child at all, or they show the child more. They give the child more privilege as to, compared to the other children, and things like that. Now, most times I believe that a lot of parents try to be fair to all their children, but it's not usually as easy. It's easier said than done, right? And I feel that there are a lot of reasons that makes parents, gravitate towards a particular child over another. And so most cases it's not because those parents don't love their children, but they just find themselves gravitating toward a particular child over another. And one of the reasons I believe could be usually children that find themselves in this favorite position or situation are usually the first child and the last born child. And this is so because the first child that a mother has or a parent have, they have this attachment, sentimental attachment. There's this emotional connection to that child. Oh, my first kid, the first person that made me a parent or a mom, my womb opener, and so many other fancy names that parents call their first, child. And then for the last child, it's very, very common and very understandable because as the last child in the family, they demand more attention from their parents, even from other siblings in the family. So, it's easy for parents to just gravitate towards their last child or their first child, as the case may be. But there are other reasons that makes parents to, gravitate towards a particular child and ends up becoming the favorite child for them, And that is maybe a child that poses little or no challenge to some parents, Like when parents have a child that checks all the boxes that they expect from their children generally, they tend to gravitate towards them like, this one does not give me a headache, this one does not make me sweat, does not make me cry, she's just doing everything according to my expectations. And they just fall in love more with that child. And also it can also be, the table can also flip. For some parents, it's the child that poses more maybe problem or challenges, I should say, to them, that they end up gravitating towards, because it's like, oh, you know what, um A has everything good going for her, she's okay, she can handle herself, she can take care of herself, she's just checking out the right boxes. And B is struggling, B needs more attention, so I am going to pay more attention to B. And in so doing, it's not a bad thing actually. Like, when you have a child that is lagging behind in some areas, or a child that you just have issues like handling, sometimes some children can be like that. So you find yourself gravitating towards that child, trying to understand that child more, trying to be there more for that child, so that you can bring the child up to par, to what you expect, right? And in trying to pay more attention to that child, they find themselves lagging, in terms of showing love and attention to the other child because they feel like that child has got everything covered. Also, another reason why parents find themselves in this bubble of parental favoritism can also be maybe emotional distress. Sometimes when parents are emotionally distressed or they're going through some problems in their marriage or personal life, they're not able to check themselves as parents to realize that, okay, I'm becoming too lenient with this child, or I'm just giving more attention to a particular child over the other, you know. And things like this are inevitable. It's life. But also, I believe that parents just have the need to choose. Like, there's just always going to be that one child that just that you just gravitate towards. And funny enough, it can change over time. In the beginning, maybe when your kids are younger, it could be A, and then when they grow older, you switch to B, and it just goes on and on like that. But there's a problem, and that problem is exactly why I'm talking about this topic. Parents favor a child over another, or favor a child over their other children. There are long-term effects. There are long-term effects on that child that is being favored, on the child that is not being favored, and even on the parents and the family as a whole. And the number one effect is anger and hatred. When parents favor a particular child over the other children or over another child, it can breed anger in the child that is not being favored. And it can breed hatred, you know, because you start wondering, like, why is it that mommy and daddy are always doing this thing towards this my sister or my brother, and they're not doing it for me, you know? So it can just create that. It can make anger and hatred fester in the heart of those children, and if it persists over a long period of time, it can also cause depression. Yes, that's another effect of parental favoritism. It can cause depression on the child that does not feel favored, because when they notice that, okay, it's like mommy and daddy loves a so much that they don't even pay attention to my own needs, they don't care about me, they start feeling rejected, and it can lead them to start feeling depressed, and they act out in different ways that may not be good for them. And that brings me to my next point. It can breed lack of self-confidence in children, because they start wondering, like, okay, what do I do? Like, is there something that I'm lacking? Is there something that I'm not doing right? Am I not good enough? They start thinking about all these things, and it can just make them, even when they are out there, they start think if anything that happens in their environment, maybe in the workplace or in school, it's just they start reading minutes into it. Okay, I think Mr. A likes this person more than they do me. They start comparing themselves against other people everywhere they go, because that thing, there's a confidence issue in their head that just makes them feel like, okay, I can't do anything right. People don't like me. Even my parents don't love me. So why would other people love me? They start seeking for approval in everything that they do, whether it's within the home or out there. So that is definitely not what you as a parent want for your child. You want your child to grow up happy. You want your child to grow up to be able to accomplish their goals. You want them to grow up to be confident. But sometimes when you favor a child so much over her siblings or his siblings, it becomes a problem. Another point that I want to address, it can cause division in the home. You'll find that, okay, maybe if it's mom that is always showing this love to a sibling, and the love doesn't seem to be going around, the child that does not feel love, that does not feel like it's getting enough attention from mom, will just pick a side with dad. And of course, the one that is always getting attention and love and everything from mom picks a side with mom, and it just goes like that. you know you see, whenever there is an issue in the family, whether mom is right or dad is wrong or dad is right, everybody just sticks to their sides. And definitely that is not what you want as a parent. And the irony of it all is that both the child who is favored and the child who does not feel that is not favored can suffer all these things I just mentioned. Because when a child is too favored, when they get out there to the real world, they feel entitled. Why are things not going my way? Why am I not getting the answers that I need? Even when they're in a situation where it's not, it's not favoring them, they just feel like things should be going my way. After all, they are used to everything going their way. They are used to getting a pass if they do something that is not, right. They are used to not getting any consequences for their ill actions. The negative effect is double-sided. The child that doesn't feel favored gets affected, and the child that is actually favored also is affected. And reading about this topic, I also found out that a lot of parents do not know them. Like, but I gave her or him everything. I did the best for him. Why would this child not have self-confidence? Why would the child be feeling like they have to prove themselves? Because now they know that, okay, mommy is always there for me, so I always have to make mommy happy. I always have to go the extra mile to do to show mommy that yes, I'm living up to expectations, and that is pressure. And when they feel they're not doing that, they can also feel the pressure. And some people think that, okay, maybe it just happens with younger children, teenagers, and all that. Guess what? It also happens with grown-up children. Parents don't change even when their kids are grown. They favor who they favor even when they are grown. In fact, it's even worse when they are older. So that brings the big question. What can parents do about this? Is there a solution? Well, there is a solution in the sense that you can check yourself. You can check your emotions. It's very important to be intentional when it comes to dealing with your children. If you're going to do a certain thing for A, try and duplicate that same thing for B. Because my kids, I remember last year when we were celebrating their birthday, we had a little get together for my son. We invited his friends and everybody, and we had a good time at home. And my daughter's birthday usually comes after my son, and before you know, she was always saying, "Mommy, I want my friends to come over. I want them, like, everything you did for my brother, I want you to do the same for me." She's already giving me demands like, maybe okay, everything you did for my brother is special, so I want that same treatment. I want a photo shoot. I want a new dress. And I told her, I said, you know what, I'm going to do something that is going to be special but different. And at the end of the day, she enjoyed herself because we ended up having a good time out. And she was like, "Oh, mommy, this is the best birthday ever." You know how kids can be. And even for parents that have like children with challenges, maybe disabilities and all of that, because sometimes you definitely want to pay more attention to a child that has challenges and maybe is disabled and something like that. You definitely want to pay more attention, but guess what? As kids, they don't understand the difference. As far as they're concerned, you're showing more love, you're paying more attention to my brother and not me, and they start feeling bad. So it falls on your shoulders, or it's your responsibility to make sure that you make your child understand, oh, this is why I'm doing this for your brother or your sister, and this is exactly what I'm going to do for you too, as a way to also make you feel good and feel special. You have to try and make each child feel special in their own way. So as a parent, I don't think we can completely eradicate parental favoritism, because even studies have shown that 70% or even 80% of moms or parents have agreed that they do have favorite child. But you have to bring it to the barest minimum. Everybody needs to feel loved, whether they are grown up or not, whether they have it all together or not, whether they are very understanding or not. I'm saying it now, but it's not always easy. But the idea is to be conscious of your actions when dealing with your children, and try to be as fair as possible to all your children. So guys, I want you to share with me what you think about this topic, how you think parents can do better at handling this favoritism situation in their own homes. And if you have been affected by something like this, please also share with us if you have been able to overcome it. What are the steps to overcome it? And if you haven't, I'm going to just say to you today that please don't take it to heart. Know deep down that your parents love and care for you. And even though maybe they did not show it as much as they did to your siblings, you know, they still do love you. Thank you so much for sticking around. Remember to please like this video. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, do so right now. And I'll see you in my next video. I love you. Bye. Mwah.